Okay, everyone. Hello and good evening. So I'm going to share a quick story, and why I say quick is because my phone is about to die. That's right. We are here in my backyard, here in Las Vegas, Nevada. So my car insurance is going to be canceled on the 20th in 10 days, and you're like, what is happening? So it's like this. Everything in my life is always complicated, no matter what. I'm like that 1% of 1%, no matter what the situation is. Yeah. So my car insurance is going to be canceled. I live here in Las Vegas, which, if anyone knows, Nevada has the highest car insurance. It's extremely expensive here to have a car. It costs for a normal person, about $330 or so a month for car insurance. That's excessive. And me, I'm not going to get into detail, but mine is a lot higher. But here's the thing. I got like a ridiculously low auto insurance. It's like unheard of. And that's why Geico is trying to cancel me, because if you knew how much I was paying in the most expensive state to have car insurance, you're like, how is this even possible? So they're canceling me because they're requesting ridiculous documents that they know nobody has. So I get a letter in the mail to my house requesting that I need to provide proof that I live here. And it's like, okay, well, if I receive the letter in the mail and I call you up, obviously I live here. But life for me is never that simple. So on this list of ridiculous things, they're like, well, if you have active duty military request to go back to service, to be deployed again, we'll accept that. Well, less than 2% of the U.S. population is employed in the military, okay? I wouldn't serve in the military because, I wouldn't give my life for, a cause that some politician, feels is right at that moment. But it's a lot bigger than that too, the freedom, democracy, all of that. So I support the military and freedom and America, but I'm not in the military. And then they're like, okay, well, you can supply a W-2 within the last 30 days. Well, we're outside of tax season. I already filed. So I have a W-2, but it's not within the last 30 days. And they're like, okay, and this is the bizarre part. This is why I'm making this video, and I'm going to probably end it here because it's going to die soon. So on the list, and I call up Geico because I supply them with my Nevada ID, and in order to register a car in Nevada, which Nevada is such an extreme state, it is so difficult. It's, number one, it takes months and months and months to get an appointment for the DMV. You have to have an appointment unless you go to Laughlin, Nevada, which is what I did. I drove down to Laughlin and I waited forever. And even they screwed up everything too. I'm having a pause because I'm trying to figure out how I can present this in a way. But Nevada, they require so much. In order to get your car registered, first you have to have insurance here in Nevada, and then in order to get a plate, you have to have a driver's license, and they make you submit all sorts of documentation. Nevada is very strict, and that's fine. But after my car gets registered and I have like a ridiculously unheard of auto insurance rate with full coverage on a fairly new car in, the DUI capital of America, it's just unheard of. So they're like, okay. They said, well, you provided us with your real ID, Nevada, but we don't accept that because that doesn't prove that you live here. I'm like, how do you figure? So then I gave them my voter registration here in Nevada. And they're like, sorry, pal, that doesn't work. And I'm like, what? So then I gave them my health insurance documents. And they're like, no. But they said, if you provide us 90 days of your credit card history, we'll accept that, along with secondary documentation. And I'm like, wait a minute, you want to see my purchases for the last 90 days? And they're like, yeah. I feel like that's invasive. And so I got a little rude with them. I'm like, what if I went to, like, an adult store and purchased some adult items? And I was on the phone with a woman, and she didn't comment. She's like, we don't care about your purchase history. I said, well, what if I'm like a really perverse person and, I'm buying all this weird stuff? I would have a problem with that, which I'm not, but, like, I'm just trying to lay it out. And she's like, that's fine. And I'm like, oh my God, well, I don't want you to know that I eat at the Chow Mein House off Town Center and Charleston Boulevard. Like I go there often, or In-N-Out. Like, I have my habits, and I like the Chow Mein House, but not that that matters, but I just feel like that is so invasive. And she's like, okay, you can supply that. Now, I worked for a major insurer, and I know underwriting, I know all of that, I get it. The board members, they all have their annual meeting, they come together, they agree on something, right? But the stuff that these people agreed on is the most ridiculous stuff. So I own a car, I'm paying auto insurance, but the secondary proof, they won't accept any of my legit legal documentation, but they say, well, if you provide us with 45 days worth of bus tickets, then that proves that you live at this house. So if I ride the bus in Vegas, therefore I live here. That makes zero sense. And I told the woman, I said, if I am paying for auto insurance and I own a car, why would I be riding the bus? And she's like, well, we want bus tickets, but it has to be 45 days worth. And I'm like, this is just insane. So if I ride the bus, I live here in Summerlin West at this house. Like, that's just ridiculous. And I don't ride the bus because I own a car. And if you own a car, why would you be riding the bus with all the vagrants and all of that? Like, when I was a kid, I would ride the bus. But now, the auto insurance, Geico, it makes no sense. So I'm losing my auto insurance on the 20th. Because they say I don't live here, but if I provide them 45 days worth of bus tickets, which I don't have because I don't ride the bus, therefore I live at this house. And I don't work for the military, so I don't have any documents to prove that. I also have filed my taxes like really early in February, like right when the start date was, that's when they were filed. And it's outside of the 30-day window. I can provide my 90 days worth of credit card purchases, but again, they said, no, we're not going to accept your Nevada Real ID. We're not going to accept your Nevada voter registration. We're not going to accept all your legal documents that show your house, this address. But if I ride the city bus for 45 days and I happen to keep, the bus pass, and I provide that, I'm assuming they would want it, like I would have to photocopy it. That would prove that I live here, which is completely asinine. And I hold a degree in economics, okay? I have a degree in economics, and I'm, in fact, going back to the university here in Las Vegas because I enjoy college, and a lot of people say I should be a college professor. And possibly I might do that, too. It might be interesting, but that's beside the point. The situation is some major insurer, and I've been with Geico for 14 years, and they're canceling me because they say I don't live here. I'm here. But they will accept 45 days worth of bus passes as evidence that I live at this address, which is completely insane. So I have a problem with the board members, whoever are coming up with this policy. I know what they're doing. I have a ridiculously low auto rate in the most expensive state, in the most expensive city to be insured. If you look it up, the annual policy for just basic auto insurance is roughly between $3,500 to $4,000 a year, which is beyond excessive. and mine for the year is like $700. So there's a glitch in the system, and they know that, and they can't say, oh, well, there's a glitch, so, we're going to cancel it, and then we'll reissue you a policy. That's not going to happen. So they're trying to get me to, they're not trying, they are. I'm going to lose my insurance, and then I'm going to have to get new coverage, and then it's going to be ridiculous. So how is it, the question is, how is it that a major auto insurer, where you have very well-educated men who gather together and say, well, we're not going to accept a driver's license. We're not going to accept a voter registration, which is issued by the state of Nevada. We're not going to accept medical health insurance documents that show this address. We're not going to, anything legal that you can think of that is issued by a government entity, they're saying no. But yet, if I ride the bus for 45 days and I have 45 days worth of bus tickets, that is sufficient. That's completely asinine. And I'm perplexed to how this is even allowed. And I don't understand the rationale either, because the federal government, they established this Real ID situation back after, the September 2001 terrorist attack in New York City. The Bush administration, they were the ones who pushed for the Real ID. So, and with government, everything takes forever. It's not like a simple process. It takes decades for things to roll out. Government works so slowly, because I used to be a senior federal employee at one point. But it's just concerning. It's really concerning. I don't understand. And the bureaucracy as well. I understand how people are frustrated with how the government operates, because I've been to the DMV and I walk in there, okay, I'm in the DMV office, and everyone's inquiring questions to me because they think I'm an official, because I happen to wear khakis and just a nice shirt. It's ridiculous, and I'm very concerned about the direction of this country, because if I walk into a building and I happen to be dressed nice, that doesn't mean I'm necessarily an official. But yet, our society has gotten so sloppy that that's where we are. And it's only going to get worse from here. Maybe, now we're all in sweatpants and whatever. I'm sure it's just going to keep going downhill from here. There's no professionalism, and that's my problem. So I'm in a situation where I'm losing auto insurance because I own a car and I'm paying for it. So therefore, I should be riding the bus. It's just dumb. So I'm really concerned, but I have, today is the 10th, so 10 days left of auto coverage, and then I don't know what to do. Probably in the next 4 days, I'm going to be really concerned, because my coverage, it's going bye-bye. But whatever. But I'm here in the yard, just ranting about my situation, and yeah, that's pretty much it. There's people out. Apparently it was 115 degrees here today, but what is it? I don't even know. It doesn't